this guy, man, like I I was a goalkeeper that I communicated a lot, and I tried to especially at Blackburn at times, and we had good teams, by the way. Blackburn, I mean, to touch on that question, that was Blackburn was run by a different board. We were good. We had very, very formidable teams back then with Graham Souness and Mark Hughes at the helm. So, very rarely would we go into a game thinking that we were going to lose, no matter where we were playing. But every now and again, you would play the great Arsenal team or the great the great Man United team, and
United.
and you were up against it, of course, but many teams across Europe would have been up against it. It was so. Anyways, but Alan Shearer, he was at Newcastle, and there were times where the Newcastle side wasn't great, but I would scan the field, and I knew he, at certain moments, okay, Shearer's going to be making his run across, and he's going to get to that near post. I know he's going to be there. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to make sure I'm positioned there. Before I know it, ball's behind me. I'm like, motherfucker, and I used to, especially, at that time I was in my early 30s. So, I was calm, and I could, I get pictures in my head. You're playing Arsenal. The other one that I would put in that is Dennis Bergkamp. So those were probably the two. And Dennis, I'd have to look. I'm sure he scored a goal or something on me, but it was his orchestration of what was happening, and I would try to communicate to stop it. And the second, like, you would, for a 5-minute spell, you would like shut him down. He was so clever, and he used to then find the space somewhere else, and then I would see Thierry Henry drifting off, and I just knew that I'm facing a one-on-one with Henry on my right-hand side. I can't cheat to go to my far post, because then I'll whip it to the near post. I'm going to have to stand my ground, and if he hits it accurately, it's a goal, because I won't be able to save it from this angle. Like, it was maddening, and so what I had to try to do, and it's so much difficult, so hard for anyone to stop Henry when he was in his heyday, but it was Bergkamp for me that was orchestrating it. Henry was finishing it off, and it was so hard to stop him from getting in his spaces. And there was Shearer, he could score all different ways, but and he was friends with a good friend of mine, and he used to have banter off the field before we were playing, like, just indirectly. I never like text. I don't even have Alan's number or anything, but we would like have banter, like, there's no way I'm letting him, have a near post goal this time. Bam, goal, 2 goals, and I'm thinking, like, whereas I think if Michael Owen did an interview, like, he whenever he was on a breakaway with me, he never scored. Like, I just had, like, I had his number, maybe because I faced so many shots from him in training, and I just knew it.
Repetition.
With Alan, I would be like, I'd like wake up in the morning, no fucking way Alan Shearer is scoring on me today. And then even when we won a game 3-2, Alan Shearer too. I'm like, fuck. I was like,
he amongst those talents you mentioned, he had because he's not a big guy. All right, his thigh muscles are in good shape, but he had the sweetest connection with the football in order to generate power for kilo to force.
And backlift like this.